Hey there, welcome to the Rochmon Record Club Pandemonium, coming to you from the main stage at Proctor's in Schenectady. I'm Chuck Vosganian, your host, also known as Rochmon, and today's guest is Saratoga Springs singer-songwriter Steve Candlen. Take it away, Steve.
Bought this car in '63. Seen a lot of places and they've seen me, and it's a long train home. Every day is like a book you can't put down, and every line is sketched in iron stretched across the ground. Yes, it's a long train home. I met a young lady up in Albany with a ticket to ride her right next to me on this long train home. I said, we got a lot of time, this box runs slow, so tell me about yourself and all the things you know, 'cause it's a long train home. And up around the bend, another town it's calling. Time to make some friends before our wheels start rolling on. So we rolled that rail and lived our lives, versus two young lovers, then a husband and wife on this long train. Oh, and the years rolled by and our hair turned gray, but we never looked back along the way on this long train home. And then there came a day when the conductor said, "You lady friend, stop, it's just overhead. It's been a long train home." She looked at me, said with a smile, "Babe, I wouldn't trade one single mile from this long train home." And I waved goodbye as we pulled away. It felt just like the very first day on this long train home. And up around the bend, I see my stop is coming, and it brings me to the end of this long train home. Still hear that whistle blow. Woo, woo. Woo, woo.
Fantastic. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you,
and
Chuck.
welcome to the Rochmon Record Club Pandemonium.
Thank you for having me
Yeah.
at the Pandemonium.
Yeah, it's cool. Do you remember when we first met?
Let me think about that. Was it at a
I would
concert
doubt
or
that you remember.
Were you running sound or no?
No. Actually, you were unloading your car at the end of Philo Street, heading across to play.
With some drums?
No. You had your QSC speaker and a guitar.
That was it.
Yeah, and I'm engaging you in conversation, and you're standing there with like 100 pounds worth of stuff, and you got to go work.
Didn't mind. No, I was like, yeah, you saw the speaker. You're like,
Yeah,
oh,
I said,
another
hey,
guy.
I've got those.
Yeah. I think that's what exactly your first words were.
Yeah, exactly. So you do remember. So Steve gratefully accepts donations at his Venmo, Steve Candlen, and PayPal accounts. Visit Steve on Facebook at Steve Candlen for videos and more music. And you were an early attendee at Rochmon Record Club shows when we did them in the community room.
We did the David Bowie one.
Yeah.
Because I had written a David Bowie song in honor of his passing. And then it was about that same time.
Yeah.
And I made a little video and stuff, and then and I thought it was such a cool idea to do what you're doing with the Rochmon Record Club, you know.
It's a lot of fun.
And the show was great, you know, like this in-depth stuff about all the tracks and who played on tracks that you wouldn't necessarily know.
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize that David Bowie didn't play all the saxophone stuff.
Yeah.
He didn't, right?
He didn't, no,
Yeah,
no.
see,
But he did play a lot. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bowie was one of those guys, right?
He's one of those guys. There's not many guys like that.
No, no.
You know, I do like that stylistically, to be able to do whatever. You're not really into one particular mode of
Yes.
of music, you know.
And, you know, people used to think that, well, people still say that he was like this chameleon, you know, that would change.
Yeah.
But really, at the core of it, he was always himself.
Mm-hmm.
That's what made him unique. And I think that's one of the things I like about your music is you're you know, when, even though you do things that are along different styles, you're always pulling in Steve Candlen.
Yeah, you can only
Yeah,
do you.
you
That's
can only
what-
do, well,
I mean, at least that's
yeah,
all I
that's
can do.
that's something that
all I
probably
can
most people who play an instrument should should be told
It's
first.
interesting, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
I think some people just, well, if you're doing something, singing and playing the guitar, I started on the drums. So,
Yeah.
but I also started as a writing part. I used to write in all the bands I was in as a kid. So I like the poetry thing. I like putting things together in little boxes, you
Yeah.
know, like as far as arrangements go.
Yeah, yeah.
And I guess that went with the drumming thing, you know, because you learn grooves and things like that.
Sure.
Simple. Keep it simple. That's one thing that
Yeah.
I've kind of done the whole time. Excuse me. And but I guess if you're like a kid learning guitar and singing, the tendency, probably the majority, would be emulating somebody, some singer, guitar player or
Sure.
something. So you do wind up probably coming out with a similar sound to a certain thing we already know, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Rather than your true voice, which takes a
Or
long time
it's
to
an
develop,
approach.
I think.
Yeah, I think it's an approach. I think it's the approach. And also I like jazz a lot.
Yeah.
I like, you know, I grew up, I had played drums, so I had tried to start some jazz bands. I had a
Yeah,
couple
yeah,
jazz
yeah,
bands.
sure.
They weren't necessarily jazz bands traditionally.
Yeah.
But they were more of the, like, John Coltrane jazz band, where
Yeah,
it's like you
yeah.
get to rock out a bit, you know. But I did like the approach to having a song structure, and then you kind of do it the way you're feeling it that day, you know.
Right,
or, you
right,
know,
exactly.
that-
And it always has a chance to evolve.
yeah, and the
That's the
priority
beauty.
is on like in
Yeah.
the moment. Like, I'm always like that. I mean, anything I ever do is going to be pretty much slightly different
Yeah.
than it was.
That's as it should be, because you're different.
Like life, you know.
Yeah, like life. Right, exactly, exactly. Very cool. So, you know, Rochmon Record Club is a 2-hour multimedia presentation which includes all the music from the original vinyl records, some interesting audio clips, and roughly 300 pictures. We regularly do shows at the Universal Preservation Hall on the third Tuesday of the month, and we do them at the Linda, WAMC's Performing Arts Studio on Central Avenue in Albany on the last Thursday of the month. There's lots of ways to stay in touch with us. The best way is Facebook at Rochmon Record Club, so you can get regular updates. If you want to be put on our email list, please email me directly at empirears@gmail.com. And we wouldn't be here without the cooperation and support of the Proctors Collaborative. As a nonprofit institution, Proctors Collaborative relies on both ticket sales and donations to cover annual operating costs. While canceling and postponing is important for the health of their patrons, staff, and volunteers, it creates a significant loss for the institution. Consider donating today and help the performing arts inspire and enrich your community for years to come. Go to any Proctors Collaborative website and click the donate button at the top right of the page. We'll repeat these slides during the show so you can make note of it and support the people who support the arts. So Zeb set up the cameras so you can see this beautiful theater space just waiting for you to come back and see live theater. Theater's been part of my life from very early on. My mom would play original cast recordings from musicals in the house, and our family would make the long drive from East Moriches, Long Island, to Broadway for a show at least once a year. We saw lots of Broadway shows. When I look at Proctor's, I can tell you where we sat for show after show in this beautiful building. I've seen plays, musicals, dramas, and comedies at Proctor's and the Capitol Repertory Theater, also known as Cap Rep. There's nothing like live theater, and outside of Broadway, there's no place like the Proctors Collaborative. Rochmon Record Club Pandemonium is just a reminder that the creative community is reeling from not being able to do what they love for people who love what they do in places they love, like Proctor's, Capitol Rep, and the Universal Preservation Hall. So Steve, at your suggestion, I've been stalking you online. I ask you for pictures of you, and you say, "Hey, man, I don't keep pictures of myself. You got to look online." So I found a couple of interesting pictures. One of them was in a band called Eyes, EYZ.
That was one of
Yeah.
the rock star moments.
Yeah, you had the picture I have has you in a leather jacket with
Sure.
with your ripped abs.
Ripped abs, no shirt, basically.
No shirt, yeah, but
Yeah,
but
well, that
a
was
leather
the thing.
jacket.
That was, what was that, like the 80s, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of normal. Looking
looked
back
like
now,
the
I
80s.
probably, wouldn't walk in a price shopper, tomorrow like that. But, but yeah.
You could walk in, but you wouldn't walk out like
No.
that.
Certainly.
And the other picture I found was your guitar with an evidence tag on it.
Yeah, this guitar.
That's a
the
great
Silvertone.
guitar, old Sears Silvertone.
1958 Silvertone guitar.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful. What's the story?
Well, with the loss of the guitar,
Well, the whole story. Yeah, the whole story. You got like 2 minutes. Go.
I picked up the guitar at Parkway Music, my local favorite music store. Little Parkway perk there. Yeah. So I was on a gig in Glens Falls, and I played the gig, and I came home to Saratoga. I was unloading gear out of my car and going upstairs to my apartment. I had my gear in my little hatchback differently because I was doing a wedding the next day, and I had a bass drum in the passenger seat. You've probably done that. You're a
Yeah.
drummer.
Oh yeah.
So my gear is a little car, so I got to stick all the PA and plus a drum set for the next day. So I got my stuff in the back of the hatchback. So I'm pulling my stuff out, go up to the apartment, pulled the guitar out. As I pulled the stuff out, put it alongside the car. Went up to the apartment. Came right back down. The guitar, I didn't even know the guitar was gone. I just looked in the back of the truck or car and got what else I needed, and closed it down. And the guitar was kind of like out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
I put it on the right-hand side of the car, and I was going that way. So I think that was it. It
Yeah.
wasn't on the left-hand side where I'd see it. Once I did that to get it out of the way of the gear. So anyway, I went upstairs the next day. I'm like, where's my guitar? So I'm thinking I left it on the stage. I called up there to the place I played. There was no cameras in the bar. So I was like, darn, because I figured, we'd see somebody walk up there and walk away with it. I went up there and did a police report the next day. If you come across the stolen guitar or whatever. I even is there cameras in the street? Did we get some kind of time frame on that? And
They do it on TV all the time, but in real life it doesn't work that way.
It didn't work that way.
Yeah.
But so I spent the next 8 months trying other guitars that were similar to this, because this is like my guitar. Like I was so used to playing, because I started playing on this guitar when I started doing the guitar singing thing. And 8 months later, I get a call from the Saratoga police station. Did you lose a wallet on Catherine Street? And I'm like, wow, that's my wallet's gone. Yeah. It fell out of my car at my girlfriend's on her street. And and then they said, did you lose a guitar back in May? And I was like, how do you have my guitar, right? And apparently they took the guitar and they sent an email to my Gmail, one of these Gmail email accounts that I don't really use. And that was as much as they, followed through trying to get a hold of me. They didn't try calling or anything, which would have been a much more direct connect, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I got my guitar back after 8 months of just thinking it was just gone.
Oh my God.
So it was great to get it back. The pickup was hanging off of it. Why, I don't know, because it wasn't hanging off of it when it was
when it
in
was
my
stolen.
case. Somebody cop must have been gigging with it, so shredding on it over the weekends. But finally got it back. Got the evidence sticker from it's in the inside.
It's in the
so
inside?
it's
Cool.
in there.
Cool.
And yeah, I'm so happy I got it back, because this is like my favorite guitar, even though it wouldn't be considered an expensive, guitar, but it's still the one that got me going.
That's the thing about instruments. I mean, instruments are they're so personal. It's a personal tool, right? It's
If you find, sometimes I guess you find one. Like I've met, if you find that one that's kind of like really connected to you in a certain way, this would be it for me.
that would be it for you.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So the next song you're going to play for us is "Life Is What You Make It," and I think that's interesting because you made a life playing music.
I've lived my whole life that way, and and I don't come from money or anything. Like it isn't like, oh, I'm wealthy and I can just do whatever I want. It's you can kind of I have this kind of theme that you can do anything you love to do if you can kind of get a plan for it and be conservative and responsible with So I think anything is achievable if you put your mind to it, basically.
Perfect. Well, let's hear it.
Okay. Should I mention who I wrote it with?
Sure, of
Okay.
course.
So I wrote this with a fella named Dave Maswick,
Yeah,
who was in Blotto.
yeah.
And we written quite a few songs, but this one in particular was one of the ones that came out of us hanging out and sitting on the couch and just, writing
Cool.
songs. So give him a little
My
credit.
favorite Blotto song, by the way, is their version of Secret Agent Man.
Oh,
Just,
classic.
it's not, but anyway, that's a whole nother,
Dave
that's a
would
whole
probably
nother
have a
show.
story
We can do
for
a whole nother show.
So I'll play for you.
Great, excellent, thank you.
And I'll try to do an in-the-moment version. Life is what you make it. Life is what you make it, Chuck. Only getting one shot. You're only getting one shot. Get what you want while the getting is good. A little give and take is understood. It's understood. With a little love, it will all work out. Ooh, yes, yes. See what we do, all comes back, all comes back, all you and me. See, life is what you make it. Life is what you make it, babe. Life is what you make it. Life is what you make it, babe. Yeah. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Put your ducks all in a row. Feed them well and watch them grow up, watch them grow. Plant your garden wide and deep, for you will reap each seed you sow. Don't you know it's true? It all comes back on you. It all comes back. It all comes back. Life is what you make it. Life is what you make it, baby.
Awesome. Thank you, Steve.
Something like that.
That's fantastic. It's sort of weird to be playing and not get applause, isn't it, though?
I know.
It's a strange
We
thing.
did a couple of little live broadcasts recently, and it is a bit bizarre, but
Yeah.
it's okay because you got a few folks around. And
Yeah, exactly.
It becomes a little more conversational, I guess,
Yeah.
than acoustic, like you're in someone's living room. Or,
And yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what you are. You're in people's living rooms when they're watching you, so it's sort of a cool thing how it works.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, to wrap your head around it is a little different than playing the normal gigs.
The normal gig, yeah,
Sure.
yeah. So and not hearing the clink of glasses and plates and silverware and people talking over you while you're singing, you know, all that stuff, you know. So
Right, it has there's an upside to it. I mean, but I'm just I'm just glad that we do get to play in some capacity.
yeah, we got to keep doing it, man. That's what art's all about. Art can't be stifled.
No,
Can't-
these are the kind of times that usually something comes of something artful and comes from it. Could be music, whatever. It could be anything.
Yeah,
But it makes people kind of like stops them in their tracks and makes them start to think about the fragility of life.
being more creative about being creative, right? And
Well,
the
yeah,
fragility
just
of life
like-
too. Yeah,
just
how
like,
things
you know-
change. Yeah. Do you like to read?
I can't really see that good anymore. I
Yeah.
do like reading, but but I tend to listen to stuff more.
You listen
Like
more? Yeah.
You know, conversational interviews and things
Yeah,
like that.
I can't do the listening. I know the books on tape are a big thing, but I
Yeah.
really still love to read, even though my eyes are also starting to do the old man thing. But
Yeah.
one of the books that I've been reading lately has been Thanks a Lot, Mr. Kibblewhite,
Yeah.
the Roger Daltrey story.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, Daltrey does, you know, a lot of guys are, when they write their biography, musicians and actors, it's always to reinforce their legend, right? Mm-hmm. And it's not really to break any new ground. And if they reveal stuff, it's revealing stuff about other people. It's not really revealing stuff about themselves. But Daltrey really approaches it like it's a really humbly written book. And The Who was volatile. I mean, they were at each other's throats.
As a viewer,
You could see it, right. And their music was relatively, you know, there was a violence to it. It was great, but The Who was sort of set apart from a lot of other bands. They were really very good band, but they were different than
unique.
Very unique. Yeah,
They had Keith Moon.
Yeah.
You know, Keith Moon wasn't. There's only one Keith Moon.
There's only, you know, and one of the things that Daltrey says about Keith Moon is in the book is that Moon wanted the drum set up right up front. He didn't want to be
have a lead
behind.
singer, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
that's
have a
fine.
lead singer, and Roger's like, "That's my part."
Where was he going to go? Did he say where he wanted him to
He
go?
didn't really care where
That would've
Roger
been
went. He just
interesting to
wanted
hear
to be
his
up front.
perspective on
Yeah. He wanted to be the star of the show. So if you like The Who, you'll love the story of the founding of the band and their often contentious relationships. And Thanks a Lot, Mr. Kibblewhite is Roger Daltrey's story, and he tells it true. It's a fun read, and I happen to know that Northshire Books has Thanks a Lot, Mr. Kibblewhite at northshire.com. Our musical guest today is singer-songwriter Steve Candlen. His next song is going to be Streets of the City. Mm-hmm. And that resonates for me talking to you because I see you on the streets of the city all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, we are downtown Saratoga guys.
This is a darker song, though. These are like the harder streets.
These are harder streets than that?
Yeah, basically.
I don't know.
More of inner city streets. Saratoga's not
inner city streets,
I
no.
mean, it's a city, and it
Yeah.
has a street. But it's hard. It's hardly hard times for most.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Which is fine, and it actually makes Saratoga a great place because people in general are very friendly and nice and upbeat. You know, it's not struggling. It's kind of just grooving. You know, which is kind of a nice reason to live in Saratoga.
Yeah.
And it's not unaffordable to live in Saratoga. A lot of people have that misconception.
Yeah.
You know, there's plenty of places you can get a spot and an apartment and
Karen and I do it, and
It's
you
doable,
do it.
yeah. It's doable. I did it.
People do it. Yeah.
know.
I love Saratoga. Even when I lived up in Queensbury, I would, on a
there's an
Saturday
energy there. It's
afternoon.
good.
Yeah,
Good
it's a good energy. Yeah. So let's hear the song.
Okay.
Streets of the City.
Streets of the City. Out on the street where the pavement speaks, where the people beat their feet both night and day, where the people beat their feet deep on the street. There is writing on the wall. It reaches out to you and me, you and me. You can read it all written on the walls in the halls of the city. It's written on the street. It's written on the street. Up in the schools, they just sold the golden rule, sold it all for a sharp blade and a gun. Up in the schools, still an uneasy feeling, compromising you and me, you and me. You can feel the heat rising up in the streets of the city. It's rising in the street. It's rising in the street. Do-do-do-do-do. Fade in the night, fighting for his life. Is another mother's son, a victim of a gun, the one she raised up on her knee. Her one sweet memory, the one she'll never get to see, ever get to see, set free from the city. Oh, no. Oh, no. Out on the street where the pavement speaks, out on the street. Out on the street where the pavement speaks, out on the street, deep on the street. There is writing on the wall, reaching out to you and me, you and me. You can read it all, written on the walls, the halls of the city. It's written on the street. It's written on the street. Oh, oh, oh.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. You know, we sort of have to move things along, so let's go right to the next song, Moths. And what's that about? Besides a little insect you try
Well,
to keep
it's
out
like
of
the
your house.
metaphor of a moth. You know, moths are
Yeah.
drawn to the light, to the flame.
Yeah.
And it's basically I was born Roman Catholic. So I got that whole Roman Catholic, you know, 1st grade to 8th grade, altar boy, the whole trip, you know. And at some point I kind of was just like, you know, I guess I could say, can you, I don't know if I can say, can you say, if I say, can you take it out?
I don't know. If you can't, if you don't know if you can
say
say it, maybe you
can
shouldn't say it.
bastard?
Yeah, I think you can say that.
Okay, so the last time I really went to organized church was, the sermon or the homily type
Yeah.
of sermon. I think
Yeah.
it's called. The priest said that we're all born bastards, and I was just like, that just struck me as like, wow, that's just not happening for me. I couldn't agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of had a kind of left the church, as they say, that way. And I kind of went for more of a universal, I'm going to bring back the wonder to all of that.
Yes.
I'm not going to try to tell you what I think it is, and like I know.
Right.
I'd rather leave it as a big question mark, and a mystery. So this being Moths was more addressing the idea of just blindly following something.
Yeah.
For the sake of wanting to be a part of something that self-preservation type of thing. So that's what the song metaphorically is about. Okay.
Great.
So
Let's
may I
hear
play it now?
Absolutely, you may play it.
Would it be possible to get a drink of water?
Yes.
I saw the bottle of water, so I was like a dog looking at the bone here. Thank you. And just a little
Thanks,
bit
Matt.
dry mouth. All right.
Yeah, we got Matt Seriani helping
Thank
us
you,
out with
Matt.
the audio. We got
Appreciate
Zeb doing the video.
Wearing his mask like a responsible
Yeah,
citizen.
yeah, absolutely.
How many feet away from each other are we right now? We're good, right?
We're at least 10 feet away.
I'm not lofting any kind of
No, I wouldn't hope not.
communicable disease.
I would hope not.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
for us.
And
Okay.
we're both drummers, so. we
right.
can- yeah.
But I don't know if that's a good thing.
Yeah, well,
There's a joke in there.
there is.
I watch the moths fly by my head. To the light, to the light, to the light. I watch the moths and I wonder why. to the light, to the light, to the light. Is it any wonder you and I seek the light with blind desire? Fill our lungs and learn to fly, lose our wings and find the fire. Whoa. Ooh, whoa. Ooh, whoa. I see him smile so big and wide in the dark, in the dark, in the dark. See him smile and I wonder why. In the dark, in the dark, in the dark. Is it any wonder you and I open doors and feed the fire? Is it simply just desire to fan the flames of the funeral pyre? Oh, ooh, oh, 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 oh. Ooh, oh, all right. I watch the trains go rushing by in the night, in the night, in the night. Their tracks they run for miles and miles through the night, through the night, through the night. Is it all just really here to there? So willfully we pay that fare, live a boxcar life in a make-believe, and trade life's truth for fantasy. Whoa. Ooh. Whoa. Oh. I watch the moths fly by my head, to the light, 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 to the light.
Man,
Oh,
great. Yeah, great song.
Thank you.
You know, you have such a easy delivery. It's such a casual. It's like it just sort of flows.
Well, that's back to the improvised version of the song, because it is an improvised version. You
Yeah.
know, like it for me, you know. So you could do it very slow. You could do it fast. You could do it up.
Yeah.
You know, I
It's-
don't know.
it's how you-
That's kind of what the fun of music to me. It's always been the in the moment version of the idea.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. Well, Rochmon Record Club is presented in part by Allardyce Building Supplies. Allardyce has everything for these home repairs that we're now having the time to do. You're used to doing some home repairs, Steve.
I like home repairs.
Yeah, yeah. you revealed a lot of ability to yourself.
Well, I don't know about. I mean, like,
Yeah.
are you referring to when we bought the house? I built a lot of things.
Yeah.
I had never built anything.
I know. That's
before
what I
that.
mean.
So I bought saws, and I was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna chop my hand off here.
Yeah.
But I was like, we saved a ton of money, so it was practical. Back to the practical application of like,
Yeah.
do what you love to do and figure a way of doing it, with no money, more or less.
Yeah.
So I built all the furniture. I built like the sink and the counters and my dining room table and sectional couch and bed, all kinds of stuff
I used to when
with wood.
I owned a house with wood. Yeah.
With locally at Petty's sawmill.
You bought the wood there? Yeah.
You know
yeah.
the place?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing. You ever go there?
Yeah. Yeah.
You could get mulch if you need mulch. Big garbage bags for $1, man. So
Really?
great deal on mulch, Petty's. But I mean, like, and we found, like, when we went there, it was like eye-opening. It was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, and wood was so much cheaper than when you buy it commercially.
Yeah. Yeah.
The same board would cost you $30. It would cost
Well,
you
they use a lot of
$5.
reclaimed wood.
No, they're sawing it all the time.
Are they sawing it all the time?
Yeah, they're sawing logs. But the price of it is, way cheaper, way cheaper. Like, I think it's like a board might cost $30 at the store. You get it there for like $5 or
Really?
$6. Yeah, like same length, but it's freshly cut wood, which once it dries, it can move around.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
the one thing. It's not a treated wood.
Yeah.
So that's what you buy at the store.
Yeah.
So it's flatter. But we went with this whole we did all our molding in the windows, and everything in like rough sawn pine. So. And it makes the house smell like pine too, which is kind of nice.
Which is kind of nice. Yeah, cool. Yeah. The Saratoga Guitar also is another one of our sponsors, and they offer a wide variety of guitars from Yamaha, Larrivee, Eastman, and Reverend, as well as lots of vintage and used stringed instruments and accessories. Matt's closed for browsing, but is available by phone or online. So you're watching the Rochmon Record Club Pandemonium. I'm Chuck Vosganian, also known as Rochmon, and our guest today is singer-songwriter Steve Candlen. You can visit Steve on Facebook. Just search Steve Candlen for videos and more music. So, let's see here. Steve, you and I are going to play a song.
Okay.
Play a game called Name That Tune. So you're going to have to put on your headphones. Can you reach him? There you go. Good man. So, nope, this is just the theme song. You know this song. Yeah? This isn't part of the game.
Tom Waits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Step right up. It's a great song. Great song.
He's a cool cat.
Yeah, he is a cool cat, man. He's got a great story, too. So it's time for the Name That Tune Rochmon Record Club Pandemonium Edition. I'm going to play you a little bit of a song.
Back to the headphones.
Yeah, back to the headphones. And you get 3 clues, unless you don't.
Okay.
All right? And for every correct answer, you get 100 points.
How
And for
about
every-
$100? Can we work on that?
Well, actually, for every wrong answer, you owe me 5. So
Perfect rebuttal to that.
Yeah, it works well for me.
Okay.
And 2 out of 3 correct answers wins. Okay. So that's all you gotta get, 2 out of 3. All right. So Steve Candlen, and you win what's behind these doors. So here is the first Name That Tune. See if you can answer this one for me.
1, 2, 3. Good luck. Yeah.
Good luck. Yeah.
Good lovin'.
Yeah. So of course I did that because you played with the Young Rascals.
Yeah. Sure.
With Felix Cavallari.
I did. I played the drums with them from
Yeah.
1988 to 1996.
Wow.
Yeah, 8 years. It was great. Tour buses and concerts, places like this all the time.
Yeah, very cool. Was it a lot of double bill, triple bill type of stuff?
Multi-bill.
Yeah.
Like we did bills with, Paul Revere and the Raiders and Benny King and Chubby Checker and all those, everybody from that era. There'd be some big bills. So sometimes, the gig would be 20 minutes.
Yeah,
You
right,
go up
right.
and you just knock out 6 songs, 7 songs.
Yeah,
And then the longest gigs we do would be like an hour and 15, hour and a half.
very cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Very cool. Well, you've got 1 song down. So here's your next song. All right, you ready?
Yes.
So you're one,
if I'm ready.
and you already got 100 points.
Hey.
So you're doing all right. You're doing all right
I need
so
a little
far.
applause meter.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Okay, so here's your next clue.
Could be a bunch of songs.
Hello.
Oh,
That was the giveaway.
is that the Kinks or something?
No.
It's like, I don't know it, but it's definitely a British band, I would
Okay,
say.
you're gonna get. You're
From the
gonna
Hello.
Hello. So you're gonna get one more clue.
I don't know. You should probably know it, right? Keep
Okay.
going.
One more. You got one more
I don't know
clue.
the tune.
All right.
That's Ian Hunter.
That gives it away.
Yeah, that would be, well, is that Mott the Hoople or just Ian Hunter?
That's just Ian Hunter.
Okay.
You opened for Ian Hunter too.
I did. I see here you're relating this.
Yes,
this
yes.
challenge.
See how this works out? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I opened up for Ian Hunter, who looked amazing. I met him, and he looked like he was about 60 years old or something. And then somebody said he was almost like he's up there.
Yeah. He's like in
70 or 80. Like
yeah,
it was
yeah.
like.
He's not 80, but he's
he
like
looked
76.
great.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, that was just a surprise when I did meet him. But that was a lot of fun. Cool, real good piano player.
Yeah. He's a great musician. You know, yeah. Mott the freaking Hoople. That's my that I can't say Mott the Hoople. It's got to be Mott the freaking Hoople. I love
What's
those
the
guys.
story with Freakin'? Is that the thing
It's just what I put in there.
Okay.
In substitution for any other word that I might say.
Well, I knew all the young dudes that song.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, did David Bowie write that?
David Bowie wrote that. Yeah, he wrote it for them so they would stay together. They were going to break up.
Oh.
And he said, listen, I'll write you a song and I'll produce your next album, but
That's
you've got to
cool.
stay together.
Go,
so they
Dave.
stayed together. Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice of him.
Yeah, Bowie was a fan. Bowie's Bowie. All right, so I'll give you that one. So you're already a winner, but now we'll do the drummer. See if you can tell me who this drummer is. All right, you ready?
Ringo.
Very good. And how about this one?
Oh, Bono.
There you go.
John Bonham.
Man, you hit it.
I got
You
my
know,
drums.
Wild Adriatic only got 2 out of 3.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, they couldn't.
No, I'm not going to. They were distracted.
Okay.
I'm gonna give him some
All right, fair enough. So you win whatever's behind these 3 doors. So
Those
which-
are easy, though. Did you give them some tough ones? They're not.
No.
You didn't give them the same ones.
No, I didn't
They
give
would
them
have got
too.
those.
I didn't
too.
give them
They would've
anything
got
too
those,
hard.
too. They would have got those.
Yeah,
The ones that I
don't
got,
know.
they would have got. Absolutely.
I don't know about good loving.
I'll give you $5 if they don't get. If you just test
All
them
right,
on the.
I'll
and you
test
get
it.
back to me.
All
on
right,
that.
all right,
I
fair
guarantee
enough.
that thing.
I'll hold you to it.
All 3 guys.
We got witnesses. At least 2 or 3 people are going to know that you
Sure.
made this bet with me. Okay. All right. Good. All right. So which door do you want? 1, 2, or 3?
3.
Door number 3. Okay. So before I get to door number 3, behind door number 1, there was a McLaren P1 XP05 sports car. So you didn't get that. Sorry about that.
Aw.
Sorry about that. And that would have been cool to drive around the streets of Saratoga.
Especially with the gas prices.
Yeah, exactly. But what was behind door number 2, I think would really interest you, a matched pair of Telefunken U47s.
Oh, seriously.
Yeah, I mean, but you didn't choose that. You chose behind door number 3, and behind door number 3 is an unused roll of toilet paper.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. So the other would just not.
This is what makes it the Pandemonium edition.
and worth something.
Yes, and we're
That it's unused.
exactly not quite as much as the Telefunkens, but hey, you never know. So I'm ready for more new music. How about put some love in your gun?
Put some love in your gun.
Yeah.
What, a little backstory, I guess. Maybe?
Yes, I'd love to have a backstory on that.
Okay. Well, it's not much of a backstory. It's just the idea of the song was came from the title. I write for my title a lot, so usually dictates what the song's going to be about. And then this particular thing, I'm going to take these off now.
Yep.
In this particular case, the title "Put Some Love in Your Gun" is a metaphor for when you're speaking to be, to put some love in your voice and not be so acerbic what's this like? If there's gun references just because of the title,
Yeah.
and but it's also about like people, giving people, not being judgmental, and because like through the song, there's some things about that you could interpret as being judgmental, or like people do things for reasons. Everybody wants to jump the gun back to Roman Catholic upbringing, and he's going to hell. It's like they never really look at the individual story. They want to just generalize and throw their 2 cents on a situation when you really need to know everything about a situation to have any opinion on it.
Yeah.
Other than that, you should just refrain from comment. More or less.
I have a friend who says that everyone should practice the hula hoop rule.
Which is
you stand inside a hula hoop. Everything outside the hula hoop is none of your business.
To a certain degree, but you do want to. But then there's a side of me that says you should be open arms and as far as your approach to life and experiences.
Your hula hoops should overlap a little bit.
A little overlapping.
A little overlapping of the hula hoops.
There's a song.
Yeah, there you go. See that?
That sounds like a fun song. You have to do some kind of Latin type of overlapping hula hoop.
See that? See the creative mind, man.
Yeah, sure.
Never stops. Well, let's hear it.
Okay.
This is Put Some Love in Your Gun, Steve Candlen.
I've had quite enough of this killing stuff. Of this rough em up. Yes, I've had quite enough. Time to strip off the gloves. Push has come to shove. I'm staring you down. Plan on tipping your crown. Put some love in your gun. Put some love in your gun. Put some love in your gun. It's so easy to see. It's so hard to maintain. The heavy heart of a simple man when his world goes insane. For the love of a life and the greed of a few, take you to the edge and make you do what you'll do. Well, I'm telling you, it's a bulletproof truth. Yes, it's true. Yes, it's true. I'm telling you, of a beautiful truth. To hold still your heart and let go the dark, 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 dark. Put some love in your gun. Put some love in your gun. Put some love in your gun. Hold still your heart. The damage is done. Now you've emptied your gun. Yes, the damage is done. Now you've emptied your gun. For the love of a life and the greed of a few, take you to the edge and make you do what you'll do. Well, I'm telling you, it's a bulletproof truth. Yes, it's true. Yes, it's true. Holster your heart. Holster your heart. And put some love in your gun. Put some love in your gun. Put some love in your gun. Let go the dark. Holster your heart.
Very cool.
The way it was at the time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I like that. Holster your heart.
That's one of the lines.
Yeah.
Most of the songs I write are pretty simple, and then they'll have a couple lines that are like the good ones, like the real good lines. No, seriously, like
Yeah.
you gotta have like the one line, like at least one or two little moments where it's like, that was good writing. Like
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
because you know,
No, I get what you mean.
yeah, like the lines that really kind of lock it in, like you know. The other in the Moss song, it was "Live a Boxcar Life,"
Yeah.
and that line. You know, and yeah. So, yeah. When it comes to writing, it's nice to have like a when you are writing, and at least when you get to that line, you're like, that's a good one.
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably maybe the fuel that keeps you writing songs.
Yeah, well, that's the creative spark, right? That's when you're, I think, when you're working on something and something resonates with you deep inside. That's what a line like that does.
Yeah, and you feel
right?
slightly literate. Like I feel like slightly literate. You know, like if you read, though, reading is fantastic. If you're
I
going to
love
be a
it.
writer, you got to read.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I like reading, but I honestly can't say I read a lot. You know, that doesn't mean I won't read a lot in the future or something. It's like, but I know that when I do read, I write more. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, my problem in school always was that they always wanted me to read stuff I wasn't interested in.
Right.
Like if they had said to me,
Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah, read. Well, I liked that actually.
But
I
that
liked
was
that
decent,
book.
yeah.
That was a good book. But
required reading.
yeah, required read. If they just said, you know, read 24 books this year, and write 24 book reports,
Yeah.
would have been easy. I was reading 24. I would read the books, but it's just reading those books. Like right now, I'm reading some old Greek tragedies.
Wow.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
Is it
man.
written in
Not re-
language that's hard to read?
it's not-
Excuse
well,
me.
all that language, it's like Shakespeare, right? It all means meant something the way it was written
But
then.
is it difficult to read? Is what I'm saying.
Not difficult to read, but I like it because I have to think. I don't mind thinking. You know, I think that's one.
I guess once you're in, you probably start the language starts to relate to itself, and you
Yes.
get into the
Yeah, and also you start to see, because so much of what we do today is based on things that happened years ago.
Yeah.
You know that, or the way things were written. I made a joke the other day that all drama is Shakespeare and all comedy is The Honeymooners.
Nah.
And I'm not that far off. I mean, I understand that people could argue the point, but the general idea is that drama is basically Shakespeare, and Shakespeare got what Shakespeare did from Greek tragedies. I mean, all art builds on what has come before.
Right.
You know,
If you had an education in English, like a college education in English, I would imagine that would be required
required reading.
Required reading.
Required reading.
Required-
Say it
required.
slowly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
go?
No, I did. I refer to my college as a college experiment. It was an experiment for me. A lot like lab class. Spent more time at the bar than I did at the school.
I was a big science buff. Science and I wasn't math was not it for me.
Yeah.
And I'm only a high school graduate, so I was making music at a young age. Like 12, I was getting paid to play.
Yeah.
So out of high school, I was in bands and traveling around and, never really did the scholastic thing, even for music,
See, my parents were both classically trained opera singers.
Wow, how cool is
Yeah,
that?
well, it was cool. It was definitely cool. And music, I was surrounded by music, and my mother taught me very early how to listen to music, which is a sort of an interesting skill to have. And the thing is that because they were opera singers, and because neither one of them really ever had a career to speak of in opera, they suggested to me over and over again that I should have a backup plan.
Well, that's the parental guidance of everybody.
Yeah, but I heard that as don't be a musician. And
Well, yeah, because that's what I mean. Like a lot of kids,
yeah,
get that. Do you have something to fall back on?
something to fall back on. And I heard that as you'll never be good enough, which is not what they meant. But
No, it does affect you that way
but it
because
affects-
you're like, well,
yeah.
why not? Why can't I just do what I'm really digging on doing
yeah.
here?
And that's why I always encourage my kids to do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
And
Me
just
too.
be good at it. Just that's all. That's be the
Follow
best
your
you can be.
passion.
Follow your passion.
That's
absolutely.
like the Joseph Campbell thing. Like follow your bliss. That guy.
Yeah, follow your bliss. Yeah,
Joseph
exactly.
Campbell, cool guy.
Yeah, yeah,
Interesting
very.
stuff.
Yeah, and the thing is that I always say about kids is that they'll figure it out eventually.
Oh well, trial and error is the key to.
Trial and error is the key to learning, right?
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with parenting. I figured it out too late that they'll figure it out eventually.
I hear you.
But I have a great relationship with all three of my kids now, which is cool. You have two sons.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep the love in the game. Like in the picture's got to have a caring scenario, regardless. I mean, I'm a divorced father,
Yep.
but even the divorce was pleasant and not. Divorce is as bad as divorce might seem.
Mm-hmm.
This is as amicable as possible, and there was no animosity at all, and never has been. Even though we weren't together as
Yeah.
a couple, we were still together as parents.
Yes.
And that's huge.
Family is
for
family,
the kids
man.
and for each other.
Yes, absolutely.
People torture each other with. It's like I can't understand it, and it's
Yeah.
horrible.
Well, everybody's situation is different.
It is, and it is different.
And a lot of us are
Yeah.
product of where we came from. The stuff that
Absolutely.
made us. Why did I do
Absolutely.
some of the things I did? I have no idea.
That is why we are who we are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I agree.
And I say a lot of times that I come by certain things honestly. Meaning
Every
that
day is-
my parents are in this action, and I understanding that is freeing, I think, to a certain level.
Oh yeah, because you accept things.
Yes, I accept them and I accept me, which is really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So I had asked you to do a cover, and you wanted to do a Beatles cover.
Well, I thought I'd do Blackbird because it's
Yeah.
on the record Magnolias that I put out recently.
Yeah, and Magnolia is not a flower, is it? In this
No,
this
it's a little
context?
girl.
A little girl, yeah.
She's cute.
Yeah. There's a cool story. I actually have a few pictures of her from
really?
the back
Good.
of the CD.
Good.
The picture of you giving her a hug, or
Yeah,
her giving you a hug.
That's for our first, when she came up and said, "Can I give you a hug?" And I was like, this kid was really open-spirited, and I thought that was great. And she was with her dad and her sister and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, it was just like, I just impressed with her. She was like a leader person. Like she was like, she would sit and watch the tunes at Druthers where I played there on Sunday afternoons
Yeah.
because her mom worked at
Her
the
mom was
restaurant.
there, right? Yeah.
And her dad was in the Navy, and they'd come and they'd hang until Mom got out of work. And she would just sit there, and she wasn't nutting out like most of the kids usually kind of go crazy and dancing around, which is great. But she would just really zone in and really like the music, And she loved the Beatles, and she'd wait all day and make, everybody's mom get out of work, that she'd make them wait for this last song that I did. I used to do, She's Leaving Home, and that was her favorite song. So, and then she finally came up and they said hello when we met, and she's like, "Oh, can I give you a hug?" So she was very generous, like, when you see her picture, it kind of, you
Yeah.
can see her energy,
Yeah, yeah.
And then they moved away because their dad got another gig. with the service, I think. So come 2 years later, later, I get a letter in the mail, written by her, and she wanted me to learn Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. She goes, "Oh, I'd love when you thanks for playing." First, it was a thank you. Thank you for playing my favorite songs. Will you learn Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds? And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna learn write my next record and make a whole record for her. It was just an inspire, because with the Beatles, there's tons of material,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
But I tried to do it in a way that was, redesigning the wheel there,
Yeah.
because I didn't want to try to be a Beatle.
Right.
It's like the Beatles already
They've
aced
already
that.
did it.
So
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
just take the material and present it in a certain way that's different, So I did a version of Blackbird that I could play for you. And
Cool.
it's really
Let's
an
hear it.
improvised version of my version of Blackbird. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
even though I'm playing you a song, I'm playing it in the moment right now.
It's candlenized.
Yeah, candlenized. Yeah.
Candlenized.
Yeah.
Candlenization.
So and I haven't been playing. That's the one thing I was saying the other day. It's like, man, we haven't played for a month and a half, gigs.
Yeah.
So my set list is like, what if I get to remember what the heck I'm to do? I don't sit around practicing my gig, because when you're playing often enough to do so.
Yeah.
So.
You
But
can
I know
practice
that
on your
once,
audience.
Once things start to get back online, I'm going to have to sit down and just run sets,
Yeah.
But I'll do a version of Blackbird
Cool.
in my own way.
Let's hear it.
And most people do the guitar thing, 'cause it's a beautiful guitar part in that song that Paul McCartney wrote.
Yes.
And based off of a Bach thing. Was it Bach?
Um,
I think it was, maybe.
yes, I do. I don't remember which Bach thing though, but
It was
yes.
some kind of a classical movie.
Yeah.
But so I really went more for the basic melody and just played some chords and kind of got a version.
Cool. Let's hear it.
Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take your broken wing and learn to fly. All your life, all your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arrive. You were only waiting. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take your sunken eye, learn to see. All your life, all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to be free. You were only waiting, blackbird, fly into the light of the dark black night. All right, all right, all right, all right, all your life, all your life, all your life. Ooh, and you were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Well, you were only waiting, said blackbird singing in the dead of night. I celebrate your song while you take flight. All your life, all your life, all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Blackbird, fly into the light of the dark black night. All your life, all your life, all your life. All your life, all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. You were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird.
Fantastic, Steve. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for being on the Rochmon Record Club Pandemonium today. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Again, you can just search Steve Candlen online, Steve Candlen at Facebook, and visit Steve Candlen on Facebook, of course, for videos and more music. Sorry about that. Please donate via Venmo or PayPal to support our guy. And we wouldn't be able to do any of this without the cooperation and support of the Proctors Collaborative. As a nonprofit institution, Proctors Collaborative relies on both ticket sales and donations to cover annual operating costs. While canceling and postponing is important for the health of their patrons, staff, and volunteers, it creates significant loss for the institution. Consider donating today and helping the performing arts inspire and enrich your community for years to come. Go to any Proctors Collaborative website and click on the donate button at the top right of the page. Support the people who support the arts. The Proctors Collaborative, Proctors, Capitol Rep, and the Universal Preservation Hall. Support local businesses how and where you can, and be careful out there. If you need some supplies for work around the house, reach out to Allardyce Hardware. Be kind and compassionate in all your relationships and expose yourself to art wherever you can. If you need a new book, check out our friends at Northshire Bookstore at northshire.com. And if you need new strings, call Matt. Or a new guitar, mandolin, banjo, or ukulele, call Matt at Saratoga Guitar. For me, there's nothing better than listening to music. WEXT at 97.7 and 106.1 FM is a great station that plays lots of classic rock and new music. In my ever so humble opinion, listen to music wherever and whenever you can. Thanks for watching the Rochmon Record Club Pandemonium. Thanks to Zeb for all the work behind the camera, to my friend Matt Sariani for the audio. Excellent job. Zeb makes it all look easy. Thank you to the talented Jess Camaras for a wonderful Rochmon Record Club Pandemonium art. And to see more of Jess's work, check her out on Instagram or email her at the number 4, artbyjess@gmail.com. I'm Chuck Vosganian for the Rochmon Record Club. Come back for our next episode of the Rochmon Record Club Pandemonium featuring Albany rockers Bent. Remember, easy does it, take it one day at a time, and we'll see you soon. Rock on.
Take your broken wing and learn to fly all your life. All your life. Well, you were only waiting for this moment to arrive. You were only waiting, blackbirds singing in the dead of night.